It's Sunday, May 26th, 2024. Boy, I can't believe May is almost over. We're going to be in June soon, which in a way is nice because June is just about my favorite beekeeping month. Between about mid-May to late June and even into early July, because you get to see the honey start to come in. Now, today, I just have to work the bees a little bit, but I have to work quite a few of them. I think there's 18, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it should be 18 that I have to tend to. Two different things. So I got those 6 queens the other day from the store. They're Ray Oliveira's Carniolan queens, and I can see that these 2 here close by, that's 2 of them. When I picked the queens up, they come in this small California mini, they call it, cage, okay? But this little tube is separate. So that has the candy in it. There's a little bit of candy in the cage, but that candy really is there to sustain the bees. There's attendants and the queen in there, and there's a cork in the end. So typically, when I got Randy Oliver's queens, I popped the cork and I put this little tube in the hole. So that just adds a bunch of candy and then gives you 3 or 4 days of time before the queen is released into the hive. Well, the store I got these queens from didn't have any candy. They don't send the candy with the queens for some reason. And honestly, that's more than an annoyance, because here I am going through extra steps here because somebody didn't decide to do their job correctly and send the candy plugs with the cages. So I think that needs to stop. You know, this supplier needs to figure that out and get on the ball and do that. So suffice it to say, those queens have been in there for, I put them in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 3 days now. I'll take the cork out and let them have free access to the candy that's there. That'll give them another day, and that queen should be fine. Now, fortunately, I've done cell checks on those colonies, and so they're clear to go in that regard. Randy Oliver's queens I have not done, or the nukes with Randy Oliver's queens, I have not done cell checks, so I need to do that today because this is kind of the 11th hour. We don't want any queens emerging in there. And the reason I hadn't done the cell checks on the Randy Oliver queen nukes is that I made those splits on a Thursday and then the queens arrived on Friday. That wasn't enough time, I feel, to do a thorough cell check because they could still create cells. I should have. I regret not doing it, but I would still want to check again, regardless. And it's not very warm out here. The place is a lake. It's muddy. I should have worn my boots, but I wore my shoes, so I'm gonna have wet feet. But it's only about 12 degrees right now. The bees, I don't think, are going to be very happy with me, but I shouldn't have to be shaking frames and whatnot, because all I have to do is take the corks out of these, and there's 6 of those, and then there's 12 of the Randy Oliver nukes that I have to do cell checks, and that's going to be the hard part. There's 2 to 3 frames of brood in those. Actually, I think some of the big ones have 4, but that's going to be tricky because the number of times I've seen a colony ball up a new queen, it's heartbreaking to see that. So I just really hope that I can do this without messing things up. So I better get at this. I'm going to try for the veil. We'll see how wild they get, and I might have to graduate to the jacket. Who knows? Moment of truth. These bees going to beat me up. I have to remember not to keep my feet by the hive because that feed plug is full of water after a rain. Okay, so here's my cage. I just want to gingerly, I don't have to be, ultra paranoid with these. because they don't have access to the queen. Okay, you may not be able to see that, but I can see the queen moving around in there. So here's the cork. And I like to just drive. There's not much candy left in there. I like to drive the screw through the cork. You could do it with a pocket knife or something, but this works pretty good. So there's just a little tiny bit of candy there. Almost none. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll just hold the cork over it while I get that back in there, because they're going to have her out of there in a minute. And that's it. Do that 6 times. Alright, this I don't like, because, well, I've described why I don't like it. I have to be very careful. This is good training for a beekeeper, I think. If you can't do this sort of thing, then you have to practice being more gentle. I watch some beekeepers on YouTube, and I kind of shudder with how they're managing. You know, just very clumsy with the frames and whatnot. So you have to just practice that, I would say. You may know that when I do grafting, I introduce virgin queens directly on the top bars of the hives. And that, I want to be very gentle with that. Okay, you see, this is exactly why I'm here. These are capped cells. Fortunately, with this much time, the cells should be quite mature and easier to see. I have to really look. I don't want to shake the bees off. I don't want to work them up like that. I have to make sure, though. Let's see if Randy's queen is laying in here. There's some. I was saying about introducing the virgins, that often I'll do that without any veil or anything. And part of that is that if I can't do it without a veil, then I'm not being gentle enough. So by not wearing the veil, that really reminds me where I'm at on the gentleness scale. Wow, there's quite a few. I'll pick this up. Just takes one to kill your queen. Which I haven't seen yet. Maybe they did kill her. I haven't seen her. You never know if you've got them all or not. I don't think this is a brood frame. All right. It's one of 12. Why don't we look at some zombies for fun? They've been here just over a week now. See how they're doing. They're availing themselves of that little bit of nectar that's coming in. And there's that bright pink marked queen. I don't know what she's doing though. Yeah, there's some eggs there. She's not much of a workforce, so she'll pick that up once the weather warms up a little bit. I like that mark. That's nice and easy to see. I was going to set that there. It's not a warm day, but the sun is fairly hot. This black foundation, if you set it in the sun like that, it can not only kind of melt the wax off it, but it could warp the foundation. Probably wouldn't warp it today, but it's just a good habit to get into, to not leave it sitting around in the sun. Now this one's laying nicely. Yeah, she's got it going on. Can't see her on that frame. Well, there's lots of bees in this one. Wow. Oh yeah, she's got this laid. It's all the way around here. She's got it laid, and there she is right there. She's beautiful. Doing her job. She's getting her done. Yep. Nice. Thanks, Ian. That'll make some really good stock for splits later on. There's the queen again, right here. I like that color, boy. That's a disc too. That's not a paint pen. Well, it looks like a disc. Usually you see a disc when they're running a breeder number or something on them. Nice little nest going here. Yeah. Yep, this is going to work out just fine. Look at all the bees. Lots of bees in here. That's the extent of my bee work today. And so the next big thing that's going to go on out here is the receipt of those 50 loner colonies. I'm not going to return the colonies themselves. They're a numbers loner, so there's 50 coming in, and the arrangement is that I just take them back again in a subsequent season. So the 50 will be coming in. However, I don't think they're going to come in here. You see kind of over here, there's empty pallets and stuff laying on the ground. I was getting some equipment ready. I've got 2 Outyards available this year, and so I think I'm going to split those 50 among those 2 Outyards. And so I'm just going to take those pallets to start with. I'll set them up at those Outyards, and then when I get the colonies, when I bring them home, I'll take them straight to that Outyard instead of bringing them here and then try and move them again, because they're coming from 200 kilometers away, so they'll be reoriented really nicely. Yeah, so I'll drop those there, and then I'll have those 2 Outyards stocked. This yard, they will get probably another 50 colonies late June, and those will likely sit in 6s, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of up to the zombies here what happens, because the zombie resource is going to be used to create those 50. Getting 50 queens, and then the zombies will be consolidated into 50, splits, and then we'll put the new queens in them. So the zombie queens then will go away at that point. Yeah, and so those boy, if those sit here, they should be able to sit here because they're going to be 6s. They could sit here, and there's, I don't even know how many are here now. These will all be in 10s, and so there's going to be 75 or 80 colonies here, but a lot of them are going to be, like I said, 6s. So they're going to just make a honey crop that way. And that should work out. That should work out just fine. Okay, I'm rambling now. So thanks for joining me again. Thanks for all the support. And I hope you enjoyed the checking of the queen cells, hunting rogue cells, I guess that's what that's called. Take care and have fun. It's Thursday, May 30, 2024. Boy, May doesn't have long to live, does it? One more day. Yeah, it's Thursday. I think last I talked to you, it was Sunday. Well, there's nothing happened in the apiary really since Sunday, so there's nothing to update you on there. I apologize for being so terrible at updating the vlog this week. It's been a whirlwind week. Now, I spent a lot of time Monday, Tuesday washing foundations in the honey house. I managed to get some of the old frames that foundation came out of from the bee yard into the honey house. I've got that in the melter now, set at 90°C. I put my usual concoction of simply washing soda in the melter, but I also added, I should back up, I was always looking around on YouTube and whatnot to see how people do things. People have been using bleach and Dawn dish soap. So I added all three. I added some bleach and Dawn dish soap to the water, turned it up to 90. And so we'll see how those frames come out. They're not too bad, but they just could use a freshen up. They've just got some wax stuck on them and whatnot. They were never cooked in washing soda. They were simply rendered, which is just heat, actually, not even water, so just heat. So they're still a mess, but I'm hoping they come out nice and clean. I set up my frame waxing station in the honey house. So once I get those frames out of the melter and rinsed off and cooled down, etc., I'll snap some foundation in those and wax them. I also had to, on Tuesday, I had to pull out a whole whack of honey supers from my sea can in order to find some honeycomb that a guy wanted to buy. And so, and also to find the honeycomb to return to the gentleman who gave me those 8 colonies. That's 9 boxes of comb. I didn't want him going without those. So I've got that all ready now, and it's ready to go. So I'm going to take that back tomorrow. When I was in there, I also scavenged off a few pallet loads of, I call them rewax frames. Typically, if a frame sits in a hive, if I put a foundation frame in a hive, in a honey super, wherever, it's always in a honey super. I never put a foundation frame in a brood chamber. So if I put a foundation frame in a honey super and they don't draw it completely, then I re-wax it, because chances are they've stripped the wax off of that foundation and they'll never draw it properly if I don't re-wax it. So I scavenged a bunch of those boxes. So there's some of those in the honey house too, which, you know, that's pretty easy because they just have to be re-waxed. And I'll show you how I do that too. It's not necessarily the way everybody else does it. Some people do it the same way, but I'll just show you what I'm doing. So Wednesday, I spent all day away in Winnipeg, actually. We had our provincial association organized we called it the Manitoba Honeybee Day. And we actually had our Minister of Agriculture out. He spoke to us, and the directors, and I'm one of the directors, we had a really nice informal conversation with the director. He seems very, very interested in our agriculture sector, and very sympathetic to some of the challenges that we have going on. So I was really happy to hear kind of what his priorities are and what he thinks is important in the industry, in all industries. So I'm very, very encouraged by that conversation. Now, we had a change in government last fall, and this government is new, but this gentleman is not new to this portfolio. He's worked in that capacity in other, I don't know what you call it, other terms of that government. This kind of the left-wing government, I guess you'd call it the left-wing party in Manitoba. But regardless of that, he seems to really have a passion for the industry. I mean, he grew up as a cattle farmer, so he knows what's going on. So that was a lot of fun. Very tiring, long day. I took my observation hive over there, and actually I still have it here. So I'm going to show you that, because I didn't show you loading that, and I may show you unloading it on the weekend. But I'm going to show you that here when I'm done describing my week. So Monday and Tuesday, I actually got some time as well to put together some more of my, call these my honey super pallets. Essentially, it's a two-way pallet. It's two-way pallets, back to back kind of thing. And all it is for is it's to allow me to not have to hand bomb boxes in and out of my sea can. I can put the honey supers on these. I can stack them 5 high, 4 in a cube, so that's 20 supers. My little tractor handles that okay. And I could even stack those. I can actually only stack 4 over 5 because the sea can has a, it has a ceiling. I think that's as high as I can go in there. So anyway, I've been working on that this week. I had to go to town and get some more 2x4s for the risers. And so it's been a really, really busy week. And I'm working on that right now. I'll show you what I'm doing with this pallet project right now. There's a little bit of a larger project, so it's hard to get it all in the shot. But suffice it to say, it's pretty standard on the bottom, 3 runners. I've had to split up this, 3 risers, I should say. I've had to split up this runner because of the cutout that I wanted to make. I wanted to make these cutouts so that I could lift the pallet 4 ways. And boy, that was time consuming. I had to use my drill press and my little cheap $20 bandsaw. That was an experience, but it did the job. So you can see that I have a pallet clip here, and there are going to be 4 pallet clips on here in all. So there's going to be 1 here, 2 here, and 1 at the other end. So we'll have 2 boxes sit here and 2 boxes sit there, and it'll be nice and stable on the pallet. I'm going next week to the dipper again, and he said that he will dip these for me while I wait. So that's fantastic. Now, what I'm doing here right now is these pallet clips. I put these on with a big panhead screw, right? So it's flat under the top. See, it's flat under the top. It's called a panhead screw, and it's long. It's a number 10 screw, so it goes way down into that 2x4 that's in the center. So that really stabilizes that clip, and it is going nowhere, as they say. I'll take that off of there, so show you what I've been doing. And those are hot when they come out, so be careful. Okay. Not too bad. All right. So now, because the pallet clip has a thickness to it, and so does that screw, I'm actually recessing these into the top of the pallet. And so I've built myself what might look like a bit of an elaborate jig, but it's not too bad. I could have gone further with this thing, but so what I've done is I've got this is all just built out of scraps from cutting up the pallet tops and whatnot. So it's flat, but it has a registration edge here, so I can push that right up against the pallet. So it's going to be registered as far as where it sits longitudinally. Laterally, I could have built another, registration on the side. I just measured that 7 1/8 to the side, and I've got a line here on this one that I can line up. So I can sit that there. I could drive a screw in it, but I've got these little clamps that I can use as well, just to hold it. So when I clamp that down, I've got it registered side to side. I've got that piece right at the bottom against the pallet, and now I can route this one and this one, and then I'll turn it around and route the other two. My little router here that I've been using, so I've got the router bit set at a 3/16 depth there, and that's just about right for that screw head and the pallet clip. The problem with this is it's got this I guess it's an attachment mounting here on the side, and even if I take this screw out, which I'm going to, it still has some protrusions here. So I have to route in 2 different directions. And the problem is the distance between the bit and the side is never exactly the same between this side and that side. So if this was furniture, that wouldn't work, but this isn't furniture. So let me route one for you. There's not much to see. It's really hard for you to see from that angle. I'll route this one here in the middle, just to give you an idea of what's going on. So I can kind of eyeball it. And my square that I've got set up is a little bigger than I need, but that's fine. That's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. I have to do a kind of a manual plunge, which is okay, but it's, again, if this is furniture, that wouldn't do. Okay, so now that pallet clip will easily sit down in that recess. And again, it's too big. That's okay. I'm not going to rebuild my jig to dial it in. And that's going to sit down in there perfectly. And then the boxes, the reason I want to really recess that is so the boxes sit on the plywood here. And that'll make sure on the outside and everything they're sitting on the plywood, so things can't crawl in into the box. An observation hive at any event is a big hit. This one is actually built, I got the plans from BeeSource online, and I'll be honest, they're good plans. The joinery is very simplistic, and it really should be better, but I built it to plans anyway. I built this out of quarter sawn white oak. So it's very heavy, and the glass in it is good quality glass. I read some guys commenting about that if you use plexiglass or something, it's hard to clean without scratching it up, and it ends up looking kind of terrible. This hive is built in such a way that you could run bees in this permanently, like in a building, and run a tube outside. When I built it, I attached a solid piece of wood on here. It's screwed on from the bottom, but the plans call for a piece of wood with a hole in it. So if I were to replace that with this piece of wood here, the bees would then be able to make their way out here. Then I could put a tube in the end of that and put it out through the wall, which my wife has refused, so I've never used that part. But anyway, we use this for markets and whatnot. It's always a huge hit, draws a crowd. And one issue that people have with observation hives and the public is there's always going to be that one person, it's usually a kid, that wants to come and open it up. So they have to have padlocks and things to hold them closed. You know, if they use draw catches and stuff, they have to padlock them so the kid doesn't open it. Well, this one, you actually need a screwdriver. And so I'll either take my power screwdriver or a manual one to where I'm going to open it up. Now, the glass, to open it up, to put bees in and take bees out, you have to actually take the glass out. It's fairly simple. So I'll take these screws out. And this decorative top really is there to hold the glass and the blinds in. So when I get where I'm going, I always have to take it off so I can then lift the blinds out thusly. So there it is. And then I'll just put that top back on. But this is fine. I mean, that I could take that glass out now, but you know, it's certainly in there well enough. So this side of the frame doesn't have much brood. The other side does. This is just one of those zombies that I got from Ian. The queen wasn't marked, so she was always a challenge to find, which is kind of fun. It's a game, right? Have people find the queen. So again, they're okay in there for the day. It was raining again today, so I didn't want to take them out. I'll try to do that tomorrow. I think it's going to be a nice sunny day tomorrow. So we'll try to get that put together tomorrow. So this kind of, you know, when people ask, it represents a double brood chamber with 2 deeps and then a medium honey super. So that's my week. I'm off on Friday for some more deliveries, trip to Winnipeg, and spending some money, of course. And I'm going to return that equipment to the gentleman who gave me those hives. So I want to get that back to him. So that'll be it for this week. Apologize for not doing too much on the vlog this week. It's just been a whirlwind week, and it's always tough to go chasing after tripods and cameras and stuff. So I'll try to do better. But next week's going to be busy too. There's going to be some exciting things happen next week. And so make sure you come back next weekend and see what happened. Because I think it's going to be pretty exciting what's going on here. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you watching. I so much appreciate the support. You guys have just been so unbelievably generous to me. And yeah, I hope your bees are doing well. The bees I have now are doing well. So that's nice to see. I have lots of things to learn this summer. Not queen rearing and stuff either. Things like how to use formic acid properly and get confident with it. That's the big thing. And so yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate you watching. Go have fun with your bees. Take care. Stay safe. Just in the apiary for a couple of minutes this morning to put these bees back out of the observation hive. I find it works well if I lay it back on something. Of course, I have to take the glass out as well. I'll put my veil on though, because they are not happy when I pull that glass out. They ride up on it, and they've been confined. So I gotta stand it up a bit. Glass is very heavy. Come out, sting my legs. It's easiest to start at the top and use my J-hook. Just pull the frames out. Of course, this is the frame of interest with the bees and brood on it, and that's presumably the queen. It's got a decent brood patch going. She just needs a bit more warm weather. And we'll do this one. This one kind of sits down in the bottom, so you have to tuck the bottom in. Now, there's bees in it, but I don't normally worry about that too much. Today is not supposed to be rainy, so I'll just leave that right here. And they will make their way as long as the queen's not there. Could try the old comb trick. See how they collect on the comb when you do that? That's an old beekeeper trick. Oh, they blow away anyway. Okay, I'll leave that here and go about my business for the day.